This is the Bush Whisperer coming at you from the most beautiful penguin sanctuary, Boulders, Cape Town, southern tip of Africa, Simonstown. Come to talk to you today about entropy. Listen to that song, isn't it beautiful, huh? They're telling us all about the news, what's coming. Entropy. I like to think of the duality and polarity of the universe for a moment. The expression and the impression of the expression. And the way in which the impression is manifesting the expression, as much as the expression is the cause of the impression. And the chicken and the egg are so tightly wound up in this little story that there is just no distinguishing between them. The chicken, the egg and the chicken. They become a tight dance in the wondrously profound song of life that we are experiencing in this world. From a shamanic perspective, when we think of entropy and anentropy, we're considering things speeding up and things slowing down. The universe perceives itself, shall we say, and in the act of this expression of perception, the awareness, there is a speeding up of the resonant field of vibration and a slowing down of this resonant field of vibration. And in this, it's all a field of rhythm. What do we mean by this? Everything's spinning, everything's moving, everything's creating a rotational axis. We notice that this rotational axis seems to be present from atoms. When we perceive heavenly body, there's this perceived rotation. There's this perceived resonance. It's because of the vibrational field of being. And so the rhythms are moved to become faster and slower. This affects specific density, magnetism. I see magnetism as a reflection of specific density. And obviously the electrical principles follow suit. And so certain elements are vibrating faster than other elements in the periodic table when we consider the alchemy of being. So you've got acceleration and you've got deceleration. And I see deceleration as being that entropic force, that entropic principle that keeps the acceleration of the universe in check. Otherwise, it would just be a continually accelerating medium of vibration. So the fields of vibration are oscillating between acceleration and deceleration, acceleration and deceleration. And there are various fields of vibration, accelerating and decelerating, creating the cadence of being. And this is where this sensation of turning comes from. For in truth, all things are an expression of rest. The illusion of life is the illusion of what we experience in matter. The great dream, from the shamanic perspective, is this active dance between speeding up and slowing down in the cadences of the vibrational fields, producing the rhythms of life, producing the rhythms within. It is these rhythms that the shaman dances upon in order to reach into a deeper state of consciousness, in order to be able to transcend the physical plane, as it were, and become attuned to the vibrational frequencies. So when we consider entropy, we've got to think about how things slow down. If it weren't for the entropic force, the slowing down of the life force would not coalesce and condense to form water as we know it, the source of life, that fundamental carrier of the oxygen that can move through the body, removing the hydrogen ions and adding hydrogen ions as per the diamagnetic qualities of water, and thus propagating the environment for different live beings and different vibrational frequencies to come into being. Be it the positive ions of the acidic or the negative ions of the alkali as they relate to the oxygens. The hydrogen. And the oxygen obviously is the carrier. It's the carrier of thought, the carrier of information. It carries the information of nutrition, carries everything. So this cadence of speed, of resonance, of metabolism is fundamentally important. And metabolism is speeding up and slowing down as per the requirements. Otherwise, it would just continually speed up if there was no entropy. Or it would just slow down if there was too much entropy. So there's a fundamental reality to consider, that this reality as we know it is a reaction to the energetic field of vibration slowing down through the process of entropy to becoming dense matter. And the dense matter is thus becoming more dense with the entropic increase, becoming more etheric and flowing to the other pole of consciousness. For this reality is an expression of the consciousness field. One end of the consciousness field is acting entropically, the other end of the consciousness field is acting anentropically. And so we can understand how this works. And I want you to get a grasp that this yang-yin principles are at work here. So from one level of perception, the entropic field is bringing us closer to the spiritual reality. And on another level, it is taking us from the spiritual reality. For perception is dual. Whether you're looking from the eyes of the Pingala or whether you're looking from the eyes of the Ida, you will get a different experience. So we can think of the vibrational fields of thought, for example. Look at the physical body. Everything's inverted. So when we're looking at it from the physical plane, the speeding up of the electrical fields, resonance, creates a denseness of mind. And when the resonant frequencies in the central nervous system slow down sufficiently, and the rate of thought slows down, the mind becomes less dense. And we can think of intelligence as being less density. Which is why, as children, we would say, oh, you're just dense, if someone said something that was not intelligent. And we would call people that we consider to be less than intelligent dense. There's something to understand in the nature of these words that we use. So the entropic field is the slowing down. And the anentropic field is the speeding up, but on a physical dense level, as the mirror of reality, the entropic field creates an increase, speeding up. So there truly is a yang-yin principle in the universe, which is why we consider the universe as having four principles, both from the esoteric and occult fields and from the scientific principles of weak and strong magnetic force and weak and strong electrical force. Those that are of the domain of the electron and those that are of the domain of the physicality, and how they mirror each other as above, so below, principle of polarity, perfectly, creating the harmonic cadence of balance through which this being of experience can become reality. So understand that entropy is much a part of life, as is anentropy. And entropy can also be considered as being that which propagates death. The cells have got to die in order for new cells to be born. So here you can see the inversion principle working. The greater the entropy, the faster the cells are dying, the faster the cells are being born. So entropy creates a speed up of metabolism in the body. And anentropy produces the slowing down, which seems counterintuitive, but here we have the balance. Realize that everything is turned upside down. Our senses have to invert things. Sound has got to be inverted by the brain. Vision has got to be turned up, right side up, so we can see the right way around, because we see everything upside down. Our thoughts, which are actually on the outside, are turned to seem like they're on the inside. The reality, which is actually on the inside, is turned to seem like it's on the outside. And this is a confluence of consciousness, something that's little understood by those that haven't experienced the inner planes. For the universe becomes inside out. You could call it the inside out. There's something to consider. So realize that entropy is fundamentally important. We tend to fear entropy. We tend to fear it because it means death. It means the coldness. Because it brings about the destruction of things. And because it slows things down to the point of rest, we experience the fastness of the vibrational field. And because the anentropy speeds things up, we experience the slowing down of the vibrational field. And so these two principles find expression through each other. In terms of understanding that this universe is a toric field, and everything is twisted back to front, in the way that a circle being twisted becomes a figure of 8, which is some kind of a subtle expression and idea behind considering the nature of a toric field in 2 dimensions. Think about that for a moment. When you take a circle and you twist it, it becomes a figure of 8. When you take a sphere and twist it inside out, it becomes a toric field. And the continuity is expressed through this principle, this active principle of renewal. And so this toric field has got 2 principles operating fundamentally. And the 2 principles are the mystic expression of the 3 aspects of being. For the 3 aspects of being operate with each other in such a manner. Essentially, you have the 2 poles of the electromagnetic field, and you have the resonant structure that dances between the 2, which we consider as the sphere of reality. And these extremities of the consciousness field are fundamentally the balance of life. And so we see this reality as an expression of ourselves. Do smash the like button. Do share this video so that other people can see it, so that it gets around. Work the algorithms. And do not fear the principle of entropy. We tend to look down upon entropy, and we tend to think that it's something to be feared, something not to be appreciated. And entropy is as much a part of the principle of life as is the principle of the life-giving force of the anentropic principles. Even though entropy brings the acidity in the body is fundamental, because we do need microbes that will break down our food.